Good morning, class 12. As you all know, we are doing our lesson number 4, India's External Relations. So far we have done about the principles of India's foreign policy. We have also covered the topic war and conflict with Pakistan. Today we are taking up a very new topic that is related to India's nuclear policy. When we talk about India's nuclear policy, so we come to know that in the initial years of our independence, India was unwilling, was not interested to use atomic energy or use nuclear energy for any of the reasons. For this, the reasons quoted up are: number one, that the Second World War ended in the year 1945. The war ended when USA dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki cities of Japan, resulting into mass devastation and destruction. From that time, it seems that nuclear energy or nuclear explosions can ruin the coming generations. Moreover, India attained independence in the year 1947 after being the colony of British imperialistic ideology for more than 90 years. In the last 90 years, means from the mid of the 19th century to the mid of the 20th century or till the time of independence, the economy of India was totally ruined. India was not having say in its international arenas, international trade. There was no industrialization in the country, and the agriculture was also stagnant. Third point of view we can also consider of Nehru, who was opinion of peaceful coexistence. Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India, as we have done earlier. He was his own foreign minister. He believed in the policy of peaceful coexistence. In his policy, he was not in favor of keeping a large military force. He followed the policy of non-alignment movement instead of joining any power bloc. Moreover, he also stood for the Asian-Afro unity, which we have studied already. It's not like that Nehru was not in favor of science and technology. He had its full faith. He knew very well that industrialization is very much important for rapid development, for rapid economic development of our country. So the later years of 1940s, since we attained independence to the 1950s, our constitution makers as well as our political leaders were busy in discussion that what policy should be followed regarding India's nuclear policy. In India, Dr. Homi J. Bhabha, who is known as the father of Indian nuclear energy, set up his first atomic power station in Tarapur, which is right now located in Maharashtra near to Mumbai. And then after, there was no looking back. No looking back doesn't mean that we have made a rapid developments in our nuclear energy. Though from the very beginning, we had many confusions. Actually, if we really want to say, then the exact year which comes into our mind when the India conducted its first nuclear test was 1974. For this test also there are few reasons. The basic reason behind this was a series of events which I have put in it over here. Try to understand. The first reason happened in the 1964 after the death of Pandit Nehru. Although it is not related to the death of Pandit Nehru, but we had gone through Indo-China war at that time. Communist China conducted its nuclear test in Taiwan in October 1964 and entered itself into the category of the countries possessing nuclear energy. The 5 members of the Security Council who had veto power, popularly known as P5, now came to be known as the 5 nuclear weapon powers. Now it's not only USA, Russia, Britain, France, as well as China do possess nuclear energy. Then it happened in 1968 when NPT was signed. NPT stood for Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. That means other countries are not supposed to do nuclear explosions or possess nuclear energy. This treaty India found as a discriminatory one. India was against this treaty. At that time, Indian Prime Minister was Srimati Indira Gandhi. She was not in favor of this, that why some countries are having a right to possess nuclear energy, whereas others are forced to sign the NPT, although we have faith in the international relations. Then another year came in the year 1973. In 1973, there was an Arab-Israel war. Arab as well as Israel at that time were known for their oil fields. It led to the demand for more oils for growing rapid industrialization, but there was also an oil shock as at that time no trade occurred. The prices of the oil shoot up. India was not in a position to purchase such an expensive oil. On the other hand, India had already supported the formation of Bangladesh with the war in Pakistan in 1971. Although we won the war, but we had to face certain economic burden of that time. When the country was going through this economic turmoil, there was unemployment, there was poverty, there were no jobs, there was population rise. Similarly, they were getting strikes or protests in the areas of Gujarat and Bihar. A prominent railway strike also occurs in the year 1974. Indira Gandhi was at that time Prime Minister, and suddenly USA also puts restriction on trade with the India, leading further problems of Indian economic depression. At that time, the prices of the Indian economy deteriorated. US dollar became more stronger in India. In such situation, we then took many steps. There was then 1977 Janata Party came, which was pro-USA. Certain changes came. We tried to stabilize our relations with the Western countries. Anyway, when we come to the current area or a box which has been mentioned in your books as a fast forward, here we come to know that India opposed all that international treaties which supported the infinite extension given to the nuclear non-proliferation treaties. India was not in favor to conduct these treaties, even want to abolish it. It totally refused to sign CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, in 1995. Anyway, under the Prime Ministership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji in 1998, India again conducted a series of nuclear tests in Rajasthan. The exact place is Pokhran. The tests were conducted in May 1998. This was a great achievement for India, as the big powers were putting check on India. Still, India conducted this test. We all have gone through the movie Pokhran. Besides this, not only India, Pakistan also in the following year conducted the nuclear test. Now the endanger comes in. When we say that both the neighboring countries who are enemy of each other are conducting nuclear test. In such circumstances, both countries says that we have conducted such instances, such nuclear test for the logic of deterrence, like we are also having the nuclear weapons. Moreover, India always stated that it is not going to use first the nuclear energy. Till date, we are known as a great nuclear power on the international strand. Thank you, class.